Step out and step away from the instant gratification mindset. This perhaps is one of those mindsets, is definitely one of those mindsets that is keeping you in poverty. You see, there is no instant gratification to success. It just doesn't happen. Success is a process. And the more you commit the time, the talent, and the resources to understand the process to success, it's going to be better for you. This is one of the reasons why we at Global Capital Inc. we have developed these unique financial leadership content to really help you to understand money and how money works. One of the first things that we have seen is that many persons across the world, you are in this mindset of instant gratification. Success is never instant. Success is a process. Success in business, success in life, success in your financial breakthrough. It's a process. So it's important that you learn this and learn this fast and step out and step away from that instant gratification mindset. Now, it is this mindset that forces you to go into frustration and depression and live your entire life as a high potential case. You literally work yourself into stress, you work yourself into depression, you work yourself into frustration, largely because you have this instant gratification mindset. Success is not instant. In most cases, you're not seeing the heavy load or the heavy weight and all of the work that is being done in the back end to arrive at that point of mastery, to arrive at that point of excellency, to arrive at that point of genius. So it's a lot of work that has to go in to becoming the best brand, the best version of yourself. So never run away with the idea that success is instant. To have this mindset is what's going to keep you poor and is what's going to keep you into frustration. The next thing that I want to talk about is that from the research that we are doing, we are seeing that many persons, they have what is known as the gambler mindset. If it's not instant gratification, it's the gambler mindset. And in most cases, the gambler mindset is an offspring from the instant gratification. And this is what we are seeing. You're gambling with your time. Many of you, you have time on your hands, and instead of leveraging this time to learn something new, to learn something of value, to learn something that you can leverage to add value and fix problems, you gamble with your time. You literally waste your time as a shelf seater. That's not something that you want to do. You gamble with your talent. Many of you, you have talent, exceptional talent. But instead of packaging the talent in such a way that the talent can be leveraged to again add value and fix problems, you sleep on your talent. That's another form of gambling. Many of you also, you gamble with your money. And I don't know which is considered the worst. But many of you, you take your hard-earned capital and you gamble with your money. You put a blindfold over your eyes and you simply gamble with your money. We are seeing thousands, hundreds of thousands, and millions of people across the world who are hurt because of this form of gambling. Today, I want to give you some very strong advice, and I want to encourage you to become a smart investor. But to become a smart investor, it means that you must leverage your time, your talent, and perhaps your money to learn how to think and act like smart investors. And let me tell you some of the essential traits of these smart people. There's something that we call back-end analytics. And If you're ever thinking about ways to invest in stocks, bond, mutual funds, hedge funds, index funds, ETF, if you ever think about investing in any one of these portfolios, it makes sense to become the investor who's looking at the back end analytics. And what exactly do I mean by the back end analytics? It simply means that you're taking the time to look at team dynamics. Now, the portfolios that you're going to be invested in, it will be represented by a team of players. And the team of players, you want to be certain that they have the required skill sets to move the brand to another level of development. They must have the right skill set that is necessary to not only integrate new brands into the market, but to ensure that they can come to that point to have a fair degree of market dominance and a fair share of market ownership. So when you do the backend analytics as an expert, here is where you can make that informed decision. If you can do, get a PFA. The second thing that I want you to really consider here is something that we call corporate culture. Now, the portfolio that you're going to be investing in is going to rise and fall on corporate culture. And many of you would have heard me talk about very often that your corporate culture must be designed to have impact at four levels of the organization. One, the corporate culture must be designed to impact the workforce. It must be designed to impact a specific target market. It must be designed to impact the general public because they may be your biggest cheerleaders. And it must be designed to impact the bottom line of the organization. But then there's so much more. All right, there's so much more. Later on, we'll talk about that. So you want to ensure that the portfolio, the brand that you are likely to be invested in, they have these unique corporate culture. Now, in most cases, you don't have this information. You're just like the blind leading the blind. And that's the last place that you want to be because that's not much different than taking a gamble. You don't want to take a gamble with your hard-earned currency. The last thing that you want to do. The next thing that I want to advise you to do is to get some skin in the game and to do the market analytics. And by market analytics, what is it that we are talking about? We're simply saying that the portfolios that you're in that you want to invest in, you should understand what are their enablers and what are their accommodators. Because it is by understanding the enablers and the accommodators is what is going to allow you to be in a position of strength to be smart than the average jack out there who is considering themselves investors and might give you the wrong advice in terms of your investment portfolios. Again, if you don't know, get a PFA that can give you the right support, mentorship, and guidance in making a smart investment decision. So understanding the market analytics is absolutely necessary in this case. Next, you want to look at financial data. And by looking at financial data, we are talking about historical financial data. You want to look at portfolios like the Bank of Montreal. The Bank of Montreal has a tremendous track record. In over 100 years, they have never failed to pay dividends. And having this kind of information is useful when you're getting into the investment space. You want to have this type of information. In most cases, again, you don't have it. You listen to an agent that said, do this and do that. And in fact, the agent is no smarter than you. So ensure that you either invest in learning this information or invest in getting the right PFA on your side, a professional financial advisor, a personal financial advisor that can help you navigate this entire process. Last but not least, you want to do the financial projection of the operation. You want to know if the operation is going to be static for the next 5, 10, 15 years, or if the operation is going to be, they have a massive, aggressive, diversification growth plan. This tells you about your financial projection, and this literally tells you about the potential of your investment to give you better yields at the end of the period. So this is also critical when it comes to taking the time to understand the financial projections, because understanding the financial projection is not just sitting in your desk and coming up with a speculative analysis, because there are many companies that do this. You sit in your desk and you develop your financial projection based on a perception, based on a hunch. That can cost you money, it can cost you time, and it can also cause your investors a tremendous amount of hurt. So this type of speculative market forecasting, speculative financial projection is not the type of stuff that you want with any companies that you're going to be invested in. You don't even want them to depend on secondary data that might be outdated. You want to ensure that they are involved in primary data analysis, where they're going to the ground, gathering the information, leveraging that information to make solid, informed business decisions. When you know that you invest in these portfolios, you can rest assured that you're making a safe investment as against a gamble. Now, this is not a weird at all. All right, there's something that we call derivatives and hedge. I would not get into that today. But in becoming a smart investor, your PFA, your mentor, your coach who is supporting you along this line should be the ideal persons to give you the guidance and the mentorship in this regard. So the thing is that failing to have this knowledge is what keeps more people poor. Most people poor. You don't have this mindset, and you do not have the time, the talent, and the resources perhaps to invest in developing a new mindset, a new way of thinking. All right. In closing, I want to say this: your actions and your inactions is going to keep you poor. You can make an informed and educated decision that you're going to take this knowledge and you're going to move with it. That is action. And you have made a wise choice to take that action. Or you can make a choice that you're going to listen to this information and be like the camel who's at the well, who refused to drink the water of knowledge. And what's going to happen? The cycle of poverty will continue, not only from your generation, but perhaps from generation and generation to come. The reality is this: you take the time, the talent, and the resources to understand these contents that we are bringing to you from Global Capital Inc. It will literally stem the growth and the escalation of poverty in your life. So I wanted to say to you that we're committed to working with businesses, and we're committed to working with a private individual to ensure that you experience a more abundant lifestyle. My name is Gary Thompson. I'm a business development consultant by profession. I'm a humanitarian by nature, and I'm the multiple best-selling author for several books, including Billionaire Codes and Manager's Toolkit. My new book, 10X Branding and Marketing, The Psychology of Doing Business, will be out very soon. So I encourage you to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Find us on Facebook, find us on Instagram, and you will be the first to get this information that is coming out to you on a daily basis. Remember, step away from and step out of that instant gratification mindset. It's going to keep you in poverty. Along with that, step away and step out from that gambler mindset. That too will keep you in poverty. It's too much a risk associated with gambling. Last but not least, you want to position yourself to become what we call a smart investor. A smart investor who takes the time to understand back-end analytics. That's where the hardcore decisions about the business competency lies. Be blessed and see you in the next broadcast.